All right, I'm here with Chad Raiche. Is that how you say your last name? Raiche? Raiche.
Raiche.
And we are here at Shane's Barbershop. Thank you so much, Shane, for recording today. This is a unbelievable setup, best I'll probably ever have
Yeah.
for a couple of years at least. But anyway, I'm here with Chad, and we're gonna talk real estate, social media, business, all sorts of stuff. So, Chad, where are you from? What do you do?
Chad, I'm 29. I'm from Westerly, Rhode Island. I'm born and raised. I do real estate, Town and Shore Realty. We own it, me and my mother. We actually go by the Raiche team, but the company is Town and Shore Realty, just the Raiche team, just because, you got to have that last name, Brandon. We're pretty well known down in South County, so just want to put the two together. But yeah, I've been doing it since I got to get the dates down because I always say 7 years, 8 years. I got to get exactly my license. It was around 21 years old. So I've been doing it for quite a while now.
So with that, did you go to college?
I didn't. No college.
What did you do from 18 after high school to?
Long story short, and it's actually nice to get into it. I was, I'm in a whole different place. I was a pretty overweight kid growing up, 18. Didn't really, had a lot going on after high school. I knew college was never on the table. I never was a high school kid. I graduated with a pretty bad GPA in high school. So I was like, at the time it was the least path of resistance just to kind of get into real estate. My mom did it, figured. In hindsight, at the time, it took me a lot more time than I thought to get going. It was probably the wrong move. But, I now looking back, I don't think I'd ever change a thing because I got right into it and it made me who I was today because I realized that this life, you get what you put into it. And I realized that 8 years later, it was a lot of pushing through and I'm just getting the other side. But yeah, that was kind of how I started.
Awesome. Yeah. So at 21 you started and so it's been 8 years now, right?
Yeah,
21 to
8 years,
29.
something like that.
How was the intro to real estate? Did it take,
it was
a couple years to get your feet?
Yeah, it was tough. When I first started, I just didn't have the motivation that I did now. It wasn't until I got in the gym, which was right during COVID, where I kind of took my life off. But before then, I was kind of just figuring out. I did a lot of apartment rentals for a lot of years, which was nice, where I could just be a kid and kind of have a job, but it wasn't as serious as doing sales. And then it kind of progressed for 3 years of doing rentals, 4 years of rentals, being I'm ready for the next thing. Kind of hit 25, 26. Actually went through a breakup and then I was kind of went head first right into everything. I'm like, I got to get more into sales. I got to get more into content. And that's kind of what pushed me. But at first it was pretty hard. It was a rude awakening.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So rentals, do you think rentals really helped kickstart your career?
Yeah. Yeah. I think definitely because that's where I got known from because, and that's a good point because I would say to any new agent getting in, I think you're never going to make a living doing rentals, but I think people take it for granted because as a realtor, that's your buyer.
Well, a lot of people look down on it.
They look down.
No, I don't want to be a rental agent, and they're 22 years old, 23, 24, right?
Yeah.
But it's probably I look at it as it's probably one of the best ways to build your brand and reputation, right? And start because someone said to me the other day, as an agent, right? That typically everyone who rents is gonna at one point be a home buyer. So I don't know if have you kind of
that was a misstep in me. If I had to have one back, I probably would have taken more advantage of that back in the day. Now I'm what an opportunity. Now nobody else. No, I don't know any other realtor that does rentals in Westerly. It's just me and my mom. Maybe realtors do a couple, but now a lot of owners. But now when people need a rental, they hit us up kind of first. Yeah. And they know about us. And like you said, then it's an opportunity just to have a conversation. And they go, I kind of like that guy.
Yeah.
And they realize I'm a good guy. So then another rental comes back. So then they're kind of in your pipeline. And then they follow you on Instagram. And then it's sales. And then they see you're doing well. So kind of snowfalls. So yeah, if there was an agent getting in the business, I would get rid of that negative connotation where people say they look down on it. Because like you said, I think that's kind of what propelled me now looking back at it.
Yeah. Because I was going to ask you, as a new realtor, what's the best way to get into the business in today's market? That's a tough question.
Yeah, I was going to say today
in this market.
Yeah, I would say I definitely would say doing rentals. I would say obviously social media is big, but I say one of the most common mistakes I think I see in social media is people coming in and thinking you're just going to film a TikTok of walking around a house and being like, that's going to be your game plan. I would say get out in the community. Definitely. If you feel like you're a good person, social person,
Yeah.
I would say just do some more stuff like playing softball just with my boys, right?
Yeah.
Over the summertime. I sponsored the team. Shane's on it, the filmer. But people know you from that. And then I think if you go to the YMCA, people know from that. Just start striking up conversations. And then also, too, yeah, I would say definitely do rentals. I think everybody's scratching and clawing.
Probably also builds a base of knowledge, right? Because, I mean, unless you're coming from like, there are people that'll come from maybe a corporate career or like a finance career or a real estate development career. Like I know some people that have switched at like 30, 35, 40. And that's a different story. But when you're starting at, 20, 21, 24, I mean, you don't know much about real estate, right? Unless you self-educated. I don't want to take that away from anyone.
I don't
but
think
like
you
still haven't done it. Like you're not doing it. It's so different.
I think like you said, I mean, you said you took the real estate course.
Yeah.
If you do the real estate course, there's not one thing you're going to really need from that course that's going to be in real estate. What's up, Ginger? Was that Ginger or Doodle? But yeah, so not one thing. I think you just do it. But you know what it taught me too was dealing with multiple landlords is honestly, I think rentals are harder than doing sales. So I think if you can deal with 12 landlords in a month, you can deal with sales, no problem. So it's just about managing people, managing expectations.
Yeah.
And that was really what I learned most from doing rentals is just handling that.
And even talking numbers on rentals quick. On rentals, typically you're getting paid first month's rent, right? Or 1 month rent.
So this is actually an advertisement right here. Okay. Half months rent, Raiche team. We charge half months. We're the best.
Well, that's pretty good.
I know. So we're advantageous because we own the brokerage, so we don't have a split.
Yeah.
So we can charge it, and for us, it's like we said, we see it as an opportunity to get more buyers.
Yeah, right.
So it's not. I'm not doing. People think when they hire us, like we really need the rentals or anything. It's not about the money. We feel it as good opportunity, but in these dead months when the market's dead, it does help you get to the other side, make some cash.
Yeah. Well, I was also going to say, even if you do, like, typically the average rent, maybe even low is $2,000, right?
Yeah.
Is it 25? Yeah. But so even if you do half of that, that's $1,000 times 20, that's 20 grand. Times 100, that's 100 grand. So
that's it.
The numbers can add up if you're out there. And I bet if you were out there actually like marketing yourself, going and meeting people, calling people, getting leads, however, talking to kids our age that are all looking for rentals, like you can probably work up some rental business if you were like, hey, I'm going to spend 20 hours a week just getting business.
100%.
And no one really probably is doing that. 100%. That is saying, oh, rentals suck. Because if you actually took the time to do that.
And what happens when the landlord goes to sell? Who are they going to call? They're probably going to call you.
Whoever did a good job renting their unit.
Well, who's going to better, if I've rented every apartment in that place 3 times over, who's going to know the property better than me? So who else are you going to hire, right? So it's just that. And also, too, I've just met a lot of good people that like that you were telling me about the off-market deal you got. You just meet these people that I went through my childhood not like really a lot of mentors or anything. So I've always looking for somebody who would tell me what to do. So these landlords, a lot of them have done it 100 times over. So what other way could I, like the amount of people I've met because of rentals, I would never meet them at my age in Westerly.
Absolutely.
People with money, these investors. But now they look at me and I'm on a first name basis with these guys. So yeah, I think it was huge just being like, hey, blank, what would you do in this situation?
And they see a young kid like yourself, a young guy at the time, even now, either of us, right? Going out and putting our best foot forward to provide value to get their units rented or to try, whatever you're doing. And a lot of these guys that are 50, 60, 70 that might be on the verge of selling, they're seeing you, they're seeing eyes like people that were like themselves, right? Out there hustling, trying to just do something, right? And they respect that, and they want to, like, a lot of them want to like give you information. They want to empty their minds into you if they see that you're an honest kid who wants it, that's working hard, that's trying his best, and that's actually out there doing it. Because there aren't a lot of people that are actually out there doing it right now. And I think what you just said with going out there and talking, it is funny. Like, this is a little trick I used to do when I would go on LoopNet, or I would knock on doors, or I would call like multifamily owners. And I would just say, hey, my name's Alex. Like, I'm a real estate acquisition specialist for a real estate fund. Like, we're interested in buying your property. There was no fund. I didn't work for anyone, right? Yeah. But I got a conversation with these property owners. I knew like the terms. I educated myself on how to talk about the real estate investment. I'm talking like anywhere from 10 to 100 unit properties. So like I did the upfront education
That's hard too.
So I could somehow talk about it, right? I mean, the first probably 20 people I talked to, I was just stumbling.
Yeah,
But then I got good at talking, and I got good at talking about the terms. And, you know, all I would ever say is, hey, I'm interested in buying your property. And they're like, you know, maybe they were like, how old are you? I'm like, oh, I'm 23. But I'm working for a real estate fund. You know, I have a bunch of people backing me financially. I'm just out here looking for property. And that opens up the door immediately. Obviously, like, you know, you don't want to necessarily like lie about it, but also I was looking where if I found a good deal, I probably actually had someone that would come in and buy it. So I wasn't like just saying it with no backing, essentially.
Yeah.
But it was just a good way to open up the door. Then next thing you know, like the owner I was talking about, you have these conversations now with these people, and then they're like, oh, why don't you come over? Let's get a coffee. I feel like you're doing exactly what I was doing when I was 24 years old. There's not many people doing it. Like, there's not many people out there doing that anymore. No one comes and talks to me about my properties. Like, and a lot of them are so bored. They're like 70 years old. They're so bored. They're just like, I will tell you everything I ever learned about real estate if you want to just come and get a coffee with me.
Well, like you said, you hit the nail on the head. I think we got a problem today with I would say the younger generation where they just don't want to listen. Like I see especially like when I first started about how to get into like the content game is, I don't know if you know him from TikTok. His name's like Higher Up Wellness or something like that.
No, I don't.
He's pretty big, but he was just talking about it. It's like, dude, all the information you need is out there, but people don't want to listen. They don't want to listen. They don't want to do it. So it's like these guys, like you said, not a lot of people, what I've realized with people with money and are successful, it's a kind of a blessing and a curse, but not a lot of people like scratch that itch intellectually for them. So when they have somebody like Alex or Chad show up at their door and who have a thirst for knowledge and just want to listen and talk, like you said, they'll give you the keys to the castle.
They want to dump all the information.
They want to dump all the information. And I have a big investor in Westerly. He gave me a listing last year, and he told me it was because I was young, and he liked that. So like if you just are ambitious, dude, you got to wait your turn in a sense, which I think everybody wants to jump the line, but like make those conversations. It takes time, but if you really want to find a way, talk to people, and they will give you opportunity.
And there's always going to be another investor. So like I might have blown it. I probably blew it with the first 5 people I talked to, right? Because I was
like,
just
who the fuck
stumbling.
is this kid?
But like whatever, there's another 5 waiting, you know, a phone call away.
Yeah.
You know, there's another 10,000 investors in Rhode Island,
anywhere,
you know, waiting around. There are so many people. So it's like at the same time, you just have to go out there and start the conversation. And also you're going to get good, like just in sales, right? Like, you know, the first home or pitch you gave listing presentation to a homeowner probably was tough, right? And maybe, I mean, I would be surprised if you got the first one. Maybe you did, but like
we've gotten punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
We've gotten punched in the mouth a few times.
But like it takes like, you just have to go out there and do it and fail, you know, 10 times over. And then on the 11th time, it's just going to click.
It gets easier.
Get another and another and another. And then you're going to fail, get another.
Yeah.
But then it really does just keep getting easier from actually doing it.
Keep getting easier. And everybody sees it when it starts getting easier, which I feel like right now I'm clicking a little bit. So people are, you know, I'm kind of getting it. It's like, no, I've been doing this. I mean, my Instagram, I think I started it for real estate 4 years ago, and I'm just like, I got $1,200. It's just starting to get momentum too. So it's a grind, but you know what I would say the biggest blessing too of being in our profession, just working for yourself, is like, it's a grind, but you know what's the blessing is? I get to wake up every day and bust my ass for myself, which a lot of people don't have that opportunity. So even though it is a grind, even though you want to give up a lot of times, even though it's stressful, it's all worth it because you really get what you put into this life. Yeah. So if you want to push it, you're going to get it. It may take time, but if you can withstand the test of time, you'll get there.